Let's go. Welcome back, everybody, to Talk Dirt to Me. My name is Sandra Graham. Tonight, as always, I have my lovely boyfriend and co-host, Mike Saunders.
Hello.
And if you've ever been trackside at the Cornwall Motor Speedway or Mohawk International Raceway, you've heard his voice. Tonight, we are behind the mic with the man calling every lap, every battle, and every big moment. Diving into what it really takes to be a track announcer, please welcome Robert Hill Jr.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
G'day, how's it going?
Great. Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert, for jumping on here. This is exciting.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's been a long off season, ready to get going here in a couple of weeks, and excited to get back to the track.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We are like weeks, like you said, away. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're 10 days or so away from some testing tunes going on out at Brockville and Mohawk, so should be exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think Robert might be my longest standing Facebook friend from the racetrack. I think I don't know how, but somehow I've known Robert for longer than any of the guys at the track.
Fun fact.
Capital City will do that.
I think it goes back to the Capital City days.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's funny. All right. So let's jump in here, Robert. What drew you into racing? Like, how did you kind of jump into this sport?
So it started back, I think it was 11 or 12. My grandfather took me to the racetrack. I think the first track we went to was Brockville. Went there, sat in turn number 1, got absolutely pelted with dirt, and I thought, wow, this is fun. So we went back again. We went to Cornwall, and then we kind of made Wednesday nights at Capital City our home track. We went every week. I started off just sitting in the stands with him, and then went down and started working on a couple of the mini stocks there. Worked with Daryl Gal for a couple of years on the 44 car. We unfortunately didn't get any wins on that team, and then after he stepped away for a little bit, went and helped with the 4 for Fun class with Mike Atwell and that team. We had a really good year. Almost won the championship, except on championship night, Mike's truck broke down. So we weren't actually able to make it to the track, and we lost the title by a couple of points there. And I also was able to run a couple of years of the enduros that they did. We used to do, I think it was every couple of weeks, we ran 4-cylinder and 6 and 8 cylinders together. And I got to get out there and run for the points and finish second in 2014. And then we were going to go and race in the 4 for Fun class at the time, which was the entry level 4-cylinder, and the track closed. So it was pretty unfortunate, and then stepped away for a couple of seasons and came back 4 years ago now and started announcing at the Cornwall Motor Speedway.
Awesome. So what kind of what drove you, I guess, to kind of get behind the microphone?
So I was doing some iRacing commentary prior to that for about 2 years, and it was just a fun time. I really enjoyed it. So I sent a Facebook message to the track Facebook page, and they just so happened to need another announcer to work with Huey Primo, who's been there for, God, I think longer than I've been alive. He's been there, and I remind him how old he is every day. It's his birthday today. I think he's like 54, 55 now, so happy birthday to him. And I just sent them a message. They said, yeah, come on out. We'll give you a chance. And I just haven't left. It's been 4 years, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Yeah. So you do every Sunday at Cornwall.
Yep.
And then you also announce at Mohawk.
Yeah, so I do Tuesday nights at the Cornwall Dirt Raceway Park, which is the go-kart track between turns 3 and 4 at Cornwall. I do Fridays at Mohawk, and I do Sundays at the Cornwall Motor Speedway big track, and then anywhere else I'm needed throughout the weekend or throughout the week if my schedule works. So I'll head there and give it a shot.
Wow, that is a very busy schedule.
Yeah, it's definitely busy, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because like I was saying earlier, I've known you for a long time, but when I went to Cornwall a couple of times, I remember like hearing you announce, and I actually didn't know it was you. And I remember thinking like, wow, like that guy has like a real like announcer's voice, like so like the way you like enunciate stuff. It just sounds so like crisp and clear. And like, I don't know. I think you do a phenomenal job. And someone's like, yeah, that's Robert Hill. I was like, what? I had no idea. That was pretty cool to find out it was you up there.
It's a great time. I really enjoy it. And, you know, I remember sitting in the stands as a kid listening to Brian Googe mow their mouth down at Capital City Speedway. And that guy, he was just absolutely phenomenal. We lost him a couple of years ago, but he was definitely someone I looked up to. And Timmy Baltz as well. That's a guy that I got to listen to for quite a bit, as well as Brian Mulligan. And it's just exciting to be able to follow in the footsteps of some absolute legends in the sport that don't necessarily get the same recognition as the drivers out on the track, but some of those guys are just amazing at what they do.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, I love having you guys on. Like, we've had, like, now yourself, but we've had Tim and Jim and Brody, Spencer, like kind of all the guys that are in behind the scenes that, like you say, like almost don't get the credit that definitely deserve it. Cause like you say, like when night starts, you guys don't get a break. You're up there. It's nonstop. Like you guys deal with a lot. So kudos to all of you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. And it's a good time. And I've loved listening to what Tim and Jim have had to say on their spots here on the show and just listening to their perspective, because every announcer has their own outlook at things, and it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. And like different styles too. Like obviously like I love listening to Tim and Jim, but like some about like you guys like Cornwall get me so fired up. Like when they like, you guys have like music playing, which we don't really ever, I don't think have at Brockville, but like when you guys are like, I remember it was like one of the last fall races of the year. I was there watching like the mini stock races. They had like music playing and they were parked on the track and you guys were going like back and forth on who was talking on like driver. And like the way you guys do it, like I said, it was just like almost like it was like a pump up thing, you know, as opposed to just saying the names. It was, I like how you guys do it there. It's quite the show. And I'm sure the kids enjoy it too.
Oh yeah. And that's something we try to do is no matter what class, if it's the modifieds or the mini stocks, try to give the drivers the attention that they deserve, because you all put the same amount of work in on your cars. And some of those mini stock teams now, their budgets are almost what those modified guys are doing. So it's pretty crazy, and you guys deserve that attention for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. So do you remember the very first race you ever announced?
I don't remember the first race that I called, because that night was kind of just a blur. I was pretty nervous up there and just trying to have a good time. And I always remember my first Victory Lane interview, though. It was a rookie sportsman victory for Dylan Moore, who's now running in the regular sportsman class. And it's always a fun time when I get to go down to Victory Lane with him now, or his brother, because Dylan always comes down, and we have a good banter back and forth. But no, I don't remember the first one, but every race night has its own excitement.
Yeah, for sure. I love watching those Moore brothers out there. They amaze me with how young they are and how far they've come already.
Yeah, absolutely. Brendan just picked up the Dirt Car Sportsman victory on Friday down at Can-Am, so it was pretty exciting to see him beat some of the top guys and girls in the area with a nice Canadian podium down there south of the border.
Yeah, that's really nice. All right. So race day. So how do you kind of prepare? Like, do you have like your routines? Do you have kind of any superstitions? Like, what do you do during the day leading up to race night?
So race day for me, I try to get up early and do a little prep. I'll look at who won the races in the area, the night before, the weekend before, have a little bit of background on guys that are going to come in from out of town. We always look at the My Race Pass entry lists, which Cornwall is a good track for that, because they try to get those lists out as early as possible. So do a little bit of research, see who's coming. And I want to know what I'm talking about before I say it. I don't just want to be like, yeah, this guy races here and read a bunch of stats off of a sheet. I want to know confidently what I'm going to say. And so I try to do that research. And then I always try to be at the racetrack for when the pit gate opens. I don't like to be last minute. I don't want to rush around, get everything set up. So I'll come in, head up to the tower, set my stuff up, grab a bottle of water and kind of keep the voice ready to go. And then head on down, walk through the pits, see who's there, say hi to a couple buddies down there, and visit the tech team and walk through the pits and just see how everyone's doing and get ready for a great race night.
Yeah, like it's like I think it was with Tim we talked about, like I can't imagine trying to wrap my head around who is who, who drives what car, like where they're standing in points, how their last run was. Like it must be, like you say, like a lot of prep and a little bit of homework to look after.
Yeah, you definitely have to do a little bit of homework, and Tim is a great asset to have with us. He prepares a lot of stat sheets for every racetrack in the area, keeps track of all the winners, so I can go back and look and see who won this race in 1984. I can just pull it up, and Tim's got it. So he's a great asset to have, and Brian Haggerty was a good guy to have with us as well. He retired this past year, but he said he was retiring, except I saw him at Can-Am on Friday. I guess he's not very good at the whole retirement thing, but that's another great tool that we had over the last many, many years.
Yeah. Yeah. And it must take a lot too to like kind of going back to all the drivers, like learning them. And like you say, like if you get to the pits early, you can kind of walk around and just kind of have like those small talk conversations. So you don't just get to know like their driving styles, but you get to know like them as people. Because I'm sure it kind of almost gives you a little bit more like talking points, I guess it would be like when you're announcing.
Yeah, absolutely. And walking through the pits as well gives us a chance to look at the cars and see something that'll help it pop on the racetrack, especially at night when it gets dark out there. It can be a little tough to see who's who and who's involved in those battles. So you want to find that point that you can easily catch it out there on the racetrack and know who you're talking about and make sure that you're right from the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I've got a question for you, Robert.
Yeah.
What is it looking like for people to see Robert Hill out on the racetrack instead of calling it?
Man, I don't know. I'd like to get out there at some point. It's just it's tough. I don't have the mechanical skill to work on a car myself. I can do some of the stuff, like I'll put a tire on and stuff like that. But if something breaks, I don't know how to fix it. So it's just it's been a little tough in that regard. I wouldn't say no, and I would never say never. But as right now, I don't have plans to get out there. But who knows? You never know what falls in place and gives an opportunity.
Sure, anyone that races would agree with me on this. But like I found, like when I first thought of this idea of like I'm gonna try this, like I had in my head like what I got to do behind the wheel, but I had no idea what. Like that's like a very like minuscule amount of what goes into it. Like I'm like you, I don't know. Like I'm not a mechanic. I can fix things, like some things, or I can like kind of like I have an idea. Like I know some stuff about cars, but like I had no clue what I was getting into. And like if you get into like a pickle, it's you need help. Like you know what I mean. Like I wouldn't be able to do half of the races I've done without like people and like almost all. I think like 95% of it is people I've actually met at the track. Like like there's such good guys, like both, and like not just Brockville, like a lot of Cornwall guys help me out too. Like it's but like you said, it's like you can't do it by yourself, and you need to like nearly be a mechanic just to drive.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, especially now with how advanced some of these cars have gotten. You look at the pictures of some of the builds this off season, and they've gone from looking like a regular car to now it's just a bunch of tubes and a couple of mechanics thrown in there, and you're like, what the heck is going on? But you know it's going to be fast just because of who's touched it and who's built it, like Rich LeBlanc, Brandon McMillan, guys like that. As soon as they have their hands involved in a project, you know it's going to be golden.
For sure. And a couple of fast guys there, and I know Pierre's coming back too, and he's helped me out so much, and everything he's done has just made the car better and better. So, like, and I know he's a driver too, so seeing him out there with his own car, I think that's going to be something to see.
Absolutely. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Big time. All right. So let's say we are coming to the green flag. What's going through your head? Like, is there any nerves still at all, or are you just comfortable and cool as a cucumber?
Oh, no. The nerves are definitely gone. For some of the bigger shows, there's the odd butterfly in there. You want to make sure you get the perfect calls. Like when we're on Dirt Vision or Flow, you want to make sure that you're sounding proper and able to have the excitement that you need. But for regular race, I know it's just let's go green, let's have some fun, and I always just try to have fun with it. I'll make some jokes here and there. Our jokes absolutely suck at Cornwall, but we still try. We throw a little bit of comedy in there, but it's just cool and collected, and let's get going.
Adrian Black is asking, what is your all-time favorite race that you've ever called?
Ooh, there's definitely been some really good ones. Favorite race and favorite victory lane interview, those are separate. Adrian was involved in my favorite victory lane interview, where just out of nowhere, he's like, I want to thank my mom for giving birth to a legend. And that's something that's going to stick with me forever. And I absolutely love it. Adrian's such a great guy. And I don't know where he comes up with half of the stuff he says, but if ever he gets out of a car, we'll get him up in the booth and he can hop on a microphone with us. He might bring some comedy up there, but favorite race would probably be, I want to say, the Super Dirt Car Series race this past season at Cornwall, where Mario Claire, after racing for decades on end, finally picked up his first career Super Dirt Car Series victory. And that one was really, really exciting to see, driving the Pierre Dagenet owned car and able to pick up that win and show the guys from south of the border what he's capable of and finally breaking through for that big win.
Awesome. Yeah, Adrian's hilarious. When he was here for his podcast, he did mention, we were talking about like victory lane speeches, and he brought that line up, and I was like,
it's funny hearing him too. He's like, I was so nervous. He's like, Robert was asking me questions and I couldn't even hear him because I was just waiting to drop that one line. He's like, I couldn't even concentrate on what he was asking me, but he did get it out. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we talked favorite race call. Do you have a race that was like one of your most intense races that you've ever had to call?
Ooh, there's quite a few of those, actually, especially in the mini stock class. At Cornwall, we have a lot of really tight competitors. It kind of breaks off into two groups. You have the guys that are still learning towards the back, but you have a really intense group up at the front where they might trade the spot for the lead 4, 5, 6 times within a couple of laps. And you're going to have a half a dozen leaders in one race. And it can get really intense when they're throwing it in there 3 wide and you know it's not going to stick, but you don't really want to call them out on it either. But no, most of the mini stock races are definitely intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have a favorite class that you like to call?
I've always had a passion for the mini stock class. It's the class that I was involved in at Capital City Speedway when I was working on a race team. And then just watching those guys come up, there's been so many good drivers that I've been able to follow from Capital City through to the dirt ranks now. And, you know, growing up watching guys like Detman Dave and, Matt Mold, guys like that are now out there racing at Brockville regularly. It's exciting to see them still out there. And that's a class that I'm always going to be passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Mike actually filled out a Facebook question here. He wants to know who your favorite driver was at Capital City.
Ooh, I had a couple favorite drivers. I was always a Casey Cavanaugh fan. Casey, no matter what he drove, was always phenomenal. He was one of those guys that raced with a good level of intensity, but raced with a lot of respect. And he was one of those guys that you could put him in any car and you could expect him to compete. Todd Musker was also a great driver to follow along over the years. He went in a handful of classes when I was there, mini stock, thunder car, dabbled in the late models as well. And he just looked so smooth out there. And now he's killing it at Calabogie on the road course as well. So that's a guy with a lot of driving talent that I wish we got to see on the dirt at some point, but you never know. Maybe one day.
I'm sure you'll see Casey out there at some point.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to hear.
He's over here quite a bit talking about it, but one of these days it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it going to be him or his son first? His son's done a couple of the Enduros.
Yeah. Colton, he's like my number one crew guy. He comes with us. Yeah. Actually, the first night he came was the night of my first win. So I told him, like, sorry, buddy, like whether you're busy or not, like you're coming.
You're coming.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He came with us the rest of the year. He helps me out quite a bit. So we don't know. We'll see what happens. Both of them are,
that's awesome.
Both of them are drivers. So.
All right, let's kind of talk about the fans. So what's something fans would be surprised to learn about race night?
Ooh, how many moving parts there is in a race night. You come up to the tower. We have our race director, Jason. We have Matthew, who's working on the live scoring. Andre, who's doing the transponders. You have Chelsea and Brian that are scoring by hand at the other side. Then Huey and myself doing the announcing. Martin Belanger just beside us writing all the press releases as the night goes on. So there's 7 or 8 of us up in the tower that are working together all throughout the night. And then, of course, all of our pit stewards, Matthew Goddard down there keeping everything moving, our tech people, those in the tech garage as well, down in the infield. There's just so many officials that are involved in a race night that you might see them from time to time, but you don't always get to know what they're doing and appreciate the fact that they're putting in so much time and effort into a race night. And that's definitely something that I think fans would be surprised with how many people are involved in making this thing happen.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Have you, when you're live and like announcing, like is there any like super funny moments or like things that like you were like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said, or a big oops?
I don't know if there's any specific. I mean, whenever it comes to pronouncing the French cities, the cities in Quebec, I definitely butcher those from time to time. And the odd time, it's some that are really obvious. And then I realize, oh, shoot, that's like Gatineau. Like, how do I not know that? It just comes out as some mumbo jumbo BS out of my mouth. But
you guys have kind of like I would say unique situation at Cornwall, because there's a lot of like pure French people that are there too. Like,
oh yeah,
you guys had to have a cool, like, I noticed that like some of the, I wish I knew the guy's names better, but like there's the one guy that goes down, does the interviews, is his name Martin?
Yeah, that's Martin Belanger. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he like who does like a lot of the French. You guys almost like some of the races going back and forth. Like I noticed like some heats will be in English with you doing it, some will be French. So you guys kind of have like a unique challenge there at Cornwall.
Yeah, we especially when like the Lightning Sprints or the Midget STR or one of those Quebec-based series comes into town, we have to mix in a little bit more of the French. So Martin will hop on the mic. He's already busy. He's the assistant promoter down at Cornwall, so he's busy doing all that behind the scenes stuff as well as the press releases. And then in the fall, we bring in Tommy Lavallee, who does the announcing out at RPM in Granby. He'll come in and hop on with us for those 3 days. But we actually had a couple years ago a couple complaints that there wasn't enough French at Cornwall. So that's why now at the start of the night, Huey will mix in a welcome in French. And then that's the extent of his French for the whole night. Just we gave you more. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How does it feel when you're calling and like you're like you say, like you're getting to know the drivers in the pits and you're kind of building these relationships? But how do you feel when an incident happens involving kind of the drivers that you've gotten to know?
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes if you become buddies with somebody and they do something really dumb out on the racetrack. You don't necessarily want to say it to them directly to their face or over the mic, but the odd time, if it's someone that I know, I'll throw a little jab in there on the mic and have a little bit of fun with them. Like, yeah, that was a boneheaded move or something like that. But you definitely try to stay impartial when it comes to anything going on out there. You might secretly be cheering for somebody to do well, but you're not necessarily going to make that known. You're going to want to give the same amount of attention and excitement for everyone that's on the racetrack, whether it be someone that is there for the first time or somebody you've known for 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, it would be really hard because like you say, the mic's in front of you. You have to kind of be careful of what you want to say versus what you should say. And yeah,
absolutely. It can be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Where did the one of my buddies I watched race out there from Brockville, and I kept hearing a nickname I've never heard before. Where did the young hot shoe come from for Ryland Banks?
So that came from an iRacing event that we did. I'd actually mixed him up with his cousin, thinking that it was his like 10-year-old cousin that was driving the Sportsman at the time. So I'm like, yeah, the young hot shoe. And then I realized, oh shit, it is not the younger of the two, but it just stuck.
Yeah, he's young enough. It works.
Yeah, for sure.
On a couple of these podcasts, we've kind of talked about like the racing community and how tight knit it is, especially in like these smaller towns. So what would you say kind of makes like the local racing community so special?
I think it's just how tight everybody is. The race fans feel the connection to the drivers, and especially in Cornwall, Brockville, all along the Seaway here, everyone's so tightly connected. They're from the local areas. They're involved in the community. They get out and do the charity events and things like that. So people are able to get out and meet the drivers. And I think that's something that makes it really special is how much the teams and the tracks try to give back to their communities and really be involved. Because you look at some places and it's tough for tracks to stay in existence now because people move in and they're complaining about the noise and they're complaining about the smell of the racetrack. And our tracks try to keep the people happy, which I think is really important. And it's something that's worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say that, wasn't there something going on last year, 2 years ago? I remember there was some big stink. I think it was about Cornwall, about people complaining and trying to get it shut down. Or there's some. I vaguely remember this now, but now you talking about that, I've kind of brought back some memories of something going on.
Yeah, so they tried to make it so the track would have to run in the middle of the afternoon, which really does not work at Cornwall. If you start racing in the middle of the afternoon there, the track's going to dry out. It's not going to go well just based on the placement of the sun around the racetrack, which is something I've learned over the last couple of years. Apparently that's important. But yeah, the community was trying to get it shut down. A couple angry people, but council kind of fought back on that, and they were able to shut it down before it really went to a debate, and they were able to continue on. We have the 11 o'clock curfew, and we haven't had to break it too many times. I think 2 or 3 times over the last couple of years, which is not too bad at all. And they usually get exceptions when it comes to the Super Dirt weekend to keep things running and not have to stop the show.
Well, that's good. What would you say is is there a really big difference between announcing at Cornwall versus Mohawk?
The racetrack itself is definitely a lot different. Mohawk is the longer back straightaways, wide sweeping corners there where you're able to go 3-4 wide, and a lot of it depends on the power of the cars. Whereas at Cornwall, it's more about the drivers and being able to work their way around what is a rather technical racetrack, tight corners, not very long straightaways, kind of narrow down the backstretch and the front straightaway as well. So it's just a difference of pace more than anything. Mm-hmm. Whereas Mohawk, you might get strung out a little bit more, and Cornwall, they're just always on top of each other.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, Mohawk is a really big track. I wish someone would race there.
Working on it. You had a pretty cool.
He's got like 3 cars now. Like,
I know, right?
None of them working right now. But
oh no.
there's a pretty cool video I seen of you, and like I think a lot of the shots are from Mohawk. Of like there's some like media company that did like a cool little short with you talking. That was really cool. Mm-hmm. I that was awesome.
Yeah, so that was Dustin. He does a lot of the video work down at Mohawk, and he asked me to record a couple of clips for him, and he wanted to throw a video together. And I didn't really know the direction he was going with it, but yeah, it's a really cool piece, and hopefully we get to do a little bit more of that this year.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that guy, he's out of the States then, obviously?
Yeah, so he's right in I think he's right in Potsdam, which isn't too far on the other side of the border, maybe 10 minutes or something like that from Mohawk. So he's not too far away.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turned out really cool. What is your hardest part of your job, of, like announcing? Is there one thing that always kind of stands out or that you have to balance?
So one thing that can be a little bit tough is the odd time we'll get one of those series down from Quebec, and they're only going to bring 6-7 cars. We had it last year, and everything got really strung out. And you're lap 1 of the heat race, nobody's near each other. You have 7 more laps after that. It's trying to keep the excitement going when there's not necessarily exciting action going on. So you try to manufacture a little bit of excitement and throw in some of the research you've done on the drivers and just keeping things going. I mean, fans don't hear you too much when the track is green anyways, but you still want to keep some audio flowing, and dead air is always a bad thing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And how do you deal with criticism, or have you ever received criticism from the fans or the teams or the drivers?
We're always going to receive criticism. People will find something they're not happy with, and it is what it is. We just kind of keep going, and you want to listen to what they're saying. And if they're saying, oh, you're a little bit too negative towards one person, well, then we'll just adjust how we talk going forward and try to keep it a little bit more positive. But we know our styles, we know what works and what doesn't, and you don't really want to change too much.
Yeah. No, I get that. But like you say,
try to do a little more French, okay, Robert?
Yeah, I'll give it my best. That's something that I want to work on over this year, and hopefully by the end of the season, be able to at least call a heat race in French. We'll see. I guess I just have to learn left and right in French, and I should be okay.
It'd be tricky for sure.
Yeah.
How do you feel listening to yourself? Like, do you ever go back and listen to your own audio?
Absolutely not. No. Even back when I was doing iRacing races where all that stuff's on YouTube, I never go back and listen to it because I hate hearing myself talk, but I love to talk. I don't like being quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've noticed too that like everybody has a word that they repeat like over and over again. And I think like you don't realize it until you start to hear yourself, and then that's all you can hear. Like, you can't unhear it.
Yeah. And it's just going to continue. You hear it and you're like, okay, I'm going to not say this word, but it still pops out.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and I've never noticed that until I started doing this podcast. And that's why like I almost don't like going back and editing it, because you have to listen to yourself over and over again, and you just want to like cringe every time. But
yeah.
So yeah, I get that fully. What do you have a career highlight so far that's kind of at the top of your list?
I've gotten to do some really cool things in the 3 years that I've announced, now going into year number 4. Obviously getting to call some Super Dirt Car Series stuff at both Cornwall and Mohawk. I also got to do a little bit of NASCAR with the Motor Racing Network down at Pocono. I got to call the NASCAR Truck Series, which was pretty fun. And also got to work with IndyCar Radio at the Honda Indy Toronto a couple of years ago as a pit reporter. So kind of getting to dabble with the pros a little bit. That's definitely a highlight of mine, and something that I'll always remember and enjoy.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, most of that was year 1. I got to go down and work with IndyCar Radio, which was pretty intimidating, especially being so new to it. And then 2 years ago, went down to Pocono and did the trucks, and that was a cool time.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Awesome. All right. Do you have a race that you wish you could go back and call again? Like, it was that exciting or that fun or a big moment for somebody?
Well, there was one that we didn't actually get to call 2 years ago, Daryl Mitchell and I down at Mohawk. It was the Short Track Super Series in town, and we didn't get to call the race because they brought their own announcers in for that one. It was a phenomenal battle between Stuart Friesen and Matt Shepard. So if we could go back and somehow kind of squeak our way in there and get to call that race, it would definitely be one that I want to do. We ended up watching that race from the rooftop at Mohawk, which if ever you get the chance to watch a race from up there, that is the coolest view anywhere at that racetrack. You can see the entire surface perfectly, and it's just so cool.
That's cool. Every time I walk by the front, I always like look up to like I haven't learned by now, but I look up to look for you, and like the front windows are like tinted or something. Like I can't see. Like I don't know if you're at the end, in the middle. Like I never know where you are, because I was like,
so we're right in the middle, and the worst part about that booth is if it gets cold out, it fogs up. And there was one year, a fall race, Daryl actually had to stand on his stool and peek through a slit at the top of the window just to be able to look out and call the race, because it was so frosted over. We couldn't see anything, and we were using credit cards to try to scrape away the frost on the window. And if you ran a heater, it would blow everything in the whole booth. So it was a pretty wild time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good story, though.
Yeah, he's really fun to listen to, too. I get a kick out of him when he announces.
Well, it's unfortunate because he actually moved away in the fall. He relocated to Bakersfield, California.
No way.
So, yeah. His wife ended up they had another big kid, and she wanted to be closer to her family down in California, so they moved down there. And he has a shop in New York, so he flies back every couple of weeks just to take care of the shop.
He runs that Jackpot place, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, the Jackpot cannabis store down there, and he's back every couple of weeks, so he's going to stop in at Mohawk at some point throughout the summer, and hopefully we'll get him on the mic with us and have some fun, because the fans definitely love his style, and I like that he's able to throw in a little bit of the the Mohawk language as well at the start of the night, and really connect with the fans on the res down there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because that's funny. Because I think I just saw, must have been this week, he posted holding a baby, and then I was like, oh, like cool. And then I didn't really think anything else of it. But yeah, I guess then that's all makes sense. So, well then, what was your kind of like, this is why I love this job moment? Have you ever had one, or like you kind of leave the track every night and it's like, man, like I made the best decision starting this career?
Yeah, it's every night I leave there and it's just like, damn, I get to do the coolest job. I get paid to sit there and watch racing and talk about it, which is really fun. People say, "Oh, you're going to work." No, I'm just going to the track to watch, and that's the coolest thing about it is we just get to sit there and have fun talking with our buddies and having a good time. But for me, the first moment that really it hit me like, damn, I made the right choice was probably that Victory Lane interview with Dylan Moore. It was his first win at Cornwall. It was my first Victory Lane interview. So we kind of shared that first moment together, and he was really excited. His family was ecstatic, and it just kind of hits when you see that side of things, and you get to be involved in those big moments.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's talk drivers. So is there one driver in any class out there that you know is going out there and he's going to be kind of like a one to follow and like make things exciting for you to call?
There's definitely a few of those. You look at the modifieds, and whenever Felix was in town, especially for those big races, that's going to be a guy that you're going to keep your eyes on. Even if he's not out front, he's going to work his way up there. He loves taking home raise money anytime he gets a chance to. A couple of years ago, every $10,000 race we had, he walked away with the big checks. And you look at the mini stock class, I think anytime Brandon's out there, Brandon McMillan, that's a guy to keep an eye on because he's just so good at what he does. And he's not going to race you aggressive. He's not a dirty driver. He's just smart. He's clean and he's fast. And that's kind of the making of a perfect driver.
Yeah. Felix had his first win last weekend, I think. I can't remember now.
This year?
I think so, yeah.
This year, yeah. So he's already got one in the books.
Big changes for him this year too, so it's exciting.
Yeah, we watched I can't remember what race it was, but it's so different seeing him not in his 91 car and like seeing him in the one. Like it is, it really, it's the same guy, but it makes a big difference with what car he's driving. But
yeah, absolutely. It's going to take some adjusting this year for sure because everyone's used to David Hebert in the one car and Felix in the 91, and now they decide to go and switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, good for him though. What do you drink on race day? Coffee, energy drinks, water, pop? Like what's kind of like your go-to?
Lots of water. We can go through a case or two of water a night up there in the tower, especially on the hotter nights. And at some point in the night, I'll mix in like a Diet Pepsi or something just for a little bit of fizz to keep the throat from getting sore. But otherwise, it's mainly water.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine talking all night. Like I say, like you don't get many breaks. So once you guys start, it's nonstop.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a favorite racing movie or a favorite racing documentary?
I was always a Talladega Nights guy. That was a great movie growing up. Also loved Days of Thunder. Really cool film there. Hopefully they come out with the second one they're talking about. That'd be fun to see. But yeah, definitely those two.
Awesome. And then what kind of keeps you passionate? Like what keeps you going back every weekend, especially because you do 3 nights a week?
Just racing's been something that's been such a big part of my life. Like I said, since I was 11 or 12 years old back at Capital City. And it's just something that it feels like home. It's pretty much a second home for me. And it's something that I never want to lose in life. I already lost Capital City back in the day, and it was unfortunate back then. Their website says they're still looking for a promoter. So if anyone has money, reach out to the Drummond family, get out there. It's been like 10 years that they've been looking. So hopefully their hunt's done soon. And and we could add another track to the fold. Wednesday nights, Thunder in the Pines. That'd be sick.
I don't even know what I'd do if that opened back up. Be big decisions to be made. Like I said, that'd be so cool to race there. Like anyone I know that's ever been there, like they still talk about it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that neon you have used to run really well at that racetrack with Mike Oakley. So
yeah, and then I know like Zach Lynch's car is across the street. It's originally from there, and the Dent Man, like you were saying, and it was a cool spot, and like anyone that's been there, like I said, I think really misses it.
Absolutely. Hopefully one day. I'm not gonna keep my hopes up for it, but hopefully one day we'll be able to see some racing back there again.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to hear you announce there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. What's one more night?
Exactly.
Yeah, just throw it in the schedule. So all right. So 2026 coming up. What are your big goals that you kind of want to achieve this year?
Well, back to the same things that I've been doing the last couple of years with Mohawk and Cornwall. It's going to be a really busy year for me down at Mohawk because Daryl's not there. So it's going to be just me up in the tower for most of the race nights. It's definitely going to be hectic and a lot of running up and down those stairs. And that takes a lot out of you. But my goal for the year is definitely to learn a little bit of French, be able to call a race in French by the end of the year. That's something I've been saying is my goal for the last 3 years, but maybe this is the year that it'll finally happen. If not, I'll push it off to 2027.
Yeah. Mike, I'm sure he could show you a few French words.
I've been learning a lot. Been talking to Jamie LaRock, learning a lot of French. I just butcher it.
French words or swear words?
I just butcher it till he corrects me, and then now I know how to say things. So.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Robert, that is all I have. Do you have anything that you want to chat about, or?
No, it's been a really good time. I'm excited for the season coming up. Obviously, we're going to be having test and tune here in a couple weeks. I'm gonna go to Brockville for a test and tune, maybe take some pictures. I got to go out with the Dirt and Racing Media team last week down to Can-Am and take some pictures from the infield. That is a tough job. I looked at my pictures at the end of it, and half of them, you might have the bumper of the car in it or something else. So not many of them were usable for the most part, but we were able to take a couple, and it'd be fun to get out there and have a little bit more fun with them.
Yeah. Oh, Mike has something to show you here.
Oh, here we go.
We've got some real pretty stickers for the car.
There we go. Look at that. That's going to look real good.
Some big Dirt and Racing Media stickers. They do some really cool shots. I love the little short like video clips that they send me. I live for those.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to try to do a little bit of drone work this year with Dirt and Racing Media as well at Brockville. So we'll get some cool shots there. And we're trying to elevate the social media side of things, do more content with the drivers and obviously photography with Lily and Ella and Austin and the whole team there. And hopefully we're able to be one of those names that everybody knows and talks about and looks forward to seeing the content every week.
I do know that I've asked them to kind of do a afternoon night in the life. So yeah, I think they're going to follow us around a little bit at Brockville, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we were chatting about that last week in the car down to Can-Am. So it's going to be exciting, and we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, we just bought some microphones like to clip on, so that could get interesting.
Absolutely. You can practice your French, Mike. When we're following you.
I'll make a lot of friends doing that.
Exactly. All right. Well, Robert, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your time, guys. That was it was great, and I can't wait to see you in about 10 days down at Brockville.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll do our best. So you're testing tunes on a Tuesday, I think, at Cornwall?
Yeah, it's the 12th. So the week of all the openings.
Okay.
So if you break something at Brockville, you have a chance to come to Cornwall and make sure it's fixed.
Yeah. I think the plan is we're going to try to go there too. I'm actually off that day. So we'll,
oh, perfect.
The car is good to go. We'll head down there and see where our lap times are with the big boys down at Cornwall.
Yeah, should be good.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We have our, I want to call it winter finale, but I guess it's kind of leading into the season finale coming up this weekend. So we've got Mike Saunders, Jamie LaRock, Terry McClellan, and Matt Bowl. So we've got 4 drivers going to sit down on Sunday. So we will see how that goes. Thank you again, Robert. Can't thank you enough. Mike?
Yeah, thank you guys. And that sounds like an exciting show.
Yeah, it will be, I think, for sure. It's just going to be a table talk and just let them go. Turn it on and
absolutely.
Yeah, let them have at it.
So thanks a lot, Robert. It'd be good to get you back on too, maybe partway through the season, get some updates, how what's going on at the tracks, and
yeah, for sure.
Cool stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Thank you as always. All right. Adios.